Thank you for stopping by, my movie peeps. Let me tell you some movie news. Some of the things we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we got our first reactions for Jurassic World Rebirth, and they're a little mixed. Blumhouse has now officially bought the Saw franchise, and we got what their plans are gonna be. And James Gunn, in promotion for Superman, is still doing a ton of interviews, giving us insight into his DCU. We'll be diving into that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Timestamps in the description, and well, let's just jump into it. Starting off here out of nowhere, we got told we are going to be getting a Harold and Kumar 4. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys remember the original Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, but I think that's a pretty great comedy. That was also one of those movies that they just endlessly replayed on Comedy Central, and I would always find myself checking it out. I like the movie so much, I dreamed of having White Castle myself, because it's like, man, if they went through that struggle and journey for it, it must be delicious. And had it 2 years ago, and it was booty. It was disgusting. And with that movie, they had two other sequels, Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay, which is just an outrageous, stupid, and extremely racist movie.
How do I know you're telling the truth?
I don't have a reason to lie to you, man.
We'll see.
What's going on?
Why don't you tell me what really happened?
Yo, that's racist, man. That's racist.
See if you got Kool-Aid.
Then they had the third film that was Christmas theme, and that one to me was just kind of a disappointment. I didn't really enjoy that one all that much, but I really did not think we would be getting a fourth movie, and here we are. According to The Hollywood Reporter, it says here, Harold and Kumar getting new sequel as Cobra Kai creators ink deal to write and direct. I think whenever we think about these long-awaited comedies when they were developed in an era where you could just do anything, say anything, and things have now gone a lot more sensitive, a lot more careful, you wonder, will they tread that line? Will they be as outrageous as the second movie? Or will it be tamed for today's standards? And will it still be funny now that they're all old? I don't know, but the only thing I do know is having the Cobra Kai writers does give me faith. These guys just seem to nail it, and knowing what a fan base loves about a certain property, at least they did that super well with Karate Kid. If they're fans of Harold and Kumar and know what we like about it, maybe they can find that magic of the first movie. But if not, it'll be a fun done time. Is anyone else out there looking forward to Harold and Kumar 4? And well, yesterday it was finally announced and made official. Blumhouse is now a co-owner of the Saw franchise with Lionsgate, thus beginning a new era for the Saw world where we will get a reboot of the series. In a statement here from the previous owners, we have it: the company paid an undisclosed amount for the part of the franchise currently owned by producers Oren Cowles and Mark Berg. In the statements, Cowles said it felt like the right time to pass the baton, while Berg said he wanted to move on and tell new stories. And again, that was the battle we were having, and although that Saw 11 was confirmed and announced, these producers, one guy just wanted his paycheck to go retire, while the other one just kind of wanted to keep earning money from the franchise itself. And look, I get people's hesitation and worry because now Blumhouse will be making these Saw movies, and Blumhouse can be hit or miss sometimes, but the two creative people that'll now be in charge of the franchise is what gives me all the hope, because it's not just going to be James Wan. Leigh Whannell is also back. Heck yeah. In a statement made by James Wan, he says, "Saw holds a special place in my heart," Wan said, adding, "Coming back to this world with a fresh perspective is both thrilling and deeply personal for me. This will mark a significant creative return to the Saw franchise for the first time since the early days, and I'm very much looking forward to embrace the original script while pushing the legacy forward in bold, unexpected ways." And so that's the plan Blumhouse has, is the original two creators, James Wan and writer Leigh Whannell, will be the creative heads for the Saw franchise in Blumhouse, and that's what gives me all the faith in the project. They even mentioned here that they're going to try and embrace what made that first movie special, and that is the Saw movie that gets talked about the most, because the twist at the end of the first movie is what got people hooked onto the series. Then things got really convoluted out there, and they just went all over the place with the lore. Now that they know how crazy the Saw universe can get and what people really love about it, planning it from the very beginning and starting fresh, I think is exciting. I really can't wait to see what ideas now James Wan and Leigh Whannell have, because you got to know, after they stopped being part of the franchise, they were probably looking at every movie going, Yeah, they're doing some weird things over there. And they've grown as creators too, so they probably have a lot of fun things in mind. Only time will tell. We are not getting Saw 11. The next Saw movie we get will be a reboot, will be starting fresh. I'm thinking they're going to wipe the slate clean, but for all we know, they could just jump back in with the universe that they've already had and just start making new movies. We'll see, but it's going to be at least 3 to 5 years before we get this movie. How are you guys feeling now that Blumhouse officially also owns the rights to Saw? And well, Jurassic World Rebirth is right around the corner, and a couple of people have now gotten to see the movie, and the reviews are a little mixed. Now, I do say mixed, but for the most part, there are a giant amount of positive reviews, but also in these positive reviews, there are signs of red flags that this might not be the ultimate return to Jurassic Park a lot of us were hoping for. Getting on to some of these reviews, we have it here. Jurassic World Rebirth is everything you want. The plot can be a little silly, but who cares? The film is gorgeous, the dinosaurs are awesome, and Jonathan Bailey may be one of my favorite new actors. My heart was racing, and there was a moment where I was so happy I wanted to cheer. Another review here says, Jurassic World Rebirth is a fantastic addition to the franchise, delivering everything you want and more. From action to the cinematography, Gareth Edwards knows how to craft a great dinosaur movie. This one captures the spirit of the originals and pulls you right back in. One more before we get on to the mixed reviews. We have here Jurassic World Rebirth is an absolute dino-charged spectacle that'll leave you roaring with excitement. Gareth Edwards crafts a Spielberg-esque thriller packed with visuals, terrifying dinosaurs, and anxiety-filled action scenes that will have you in its grasps. So look, there are plenty of people coming out super enjoying this movie, saying it gives you everything you want, the dinosaurs are great, Gareth Edwards made a beautiful Jurassic World movie. In fact, that's something I keep hearing, is that this might be the best looking Jurassic Park movie we've gotten. But there are other reviews here that are kind of making me tame a little bit of my expectations. We have one here that says, oh, Jurassic World Rebirth, I'm gonna need some time to sit with this one and really puzzle out my deeper thoughts. But on the surface, I'm motivated to rewatch Jurassic Park 3 to see if I owe it an apology. One review just said, well, Jurassic World Rebirth is a movie. It has that going for it. And probably the harshest review you'll see so far from the Flick Pick, John Flickinger, saying Jurassic World Rebirth had a solid concept, mutated dinosaurs on a new island. I was intrigued, but the movie just feels blah. It's a string of forgettable scenes that go nowhere. One river sequence stood out, but the rest blurs together. The characters are dull, there's zero chemistry, and I found myself rooting for the dinosaurs to just feel something. The story plays out like a studio checklist. Nothing gets explored, and there's no heart in it. Some of the dino designs bring back that old monster movie vibe, but the film barely uses them. It just ends with no momentum, no setup, and no excitement for where this franchise is headed. It's not as awful as the last few, but still feels empty. And so I think this is what to expect. I was seeing a lot of reviews saying that if you liked movies like Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic Park 3, you're probably going to have a really great time with this one, which indicates to me that this will end up being a divisive one. And I guess maybe that's a slight bummer to hear, because they seem so sure about this movie. I don't know how many of you guys were watching the channel when we were talking up to the lead up of this Jurassic Park film, because the studio just wanted somebody to come in, direct the movie, and poop it out within 12 months, and they did exactly that. So it seemed like they were so confident on this story, and it's not landing exactly like they want. But still, like I said, the reviews are leaning mixed to positive, not mixed to negative. I'm still very much looking forward to this, and as someone who does really like Jurassic Park 3, if that's to the level of this film, I will be a happy camper.
Alan.
How are you guys feeling about some of these reviews to Jurassic World Rebirth? Next up, before we get into some DCU updates, we had a new Marvel release date that's gotten a lot of people buzzing, and that's because Marvel put a new date on the calendar for December 15th, 2028. And that December date is pretty big, because a December release date is only really used for their larger movies like Avenger films, and it's making some people wonder then, what is this? Is this the date for our first X-Men movie? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be surprised if this is just the date and placeholder, because I'm still expecting it. We are getting Doomsday and Secret Wars delayed one more time. And with the current dates that we have in mind, December 18th, 2026 for Doomsday and December 17th, 2027 for Secret Wars, if that delay happens and we all move over a little bit, that would mean Secret Wars then could take that 2028 release date and Doomsday would take that 2027 one. It's just too gigantic and big of movies and they're trying to make them so extremely fast, and we still get rumors nowadays that they're working with an unfinished script. I would not be surprised that date is just there to placehold it for when they delay these movies. So I'm not even thinking that's X-Men or Black Panther 3 or some other big movie. I'm thinking that's just where they're planning to delay Secret Wars and then move Doomsday as well. I know, I hate to wish upon that to the people, but I see it coming. Spider-Man, brand new day? I'm waiting for the delay announcement on that any day now, because no way that's honestly being released next summer. I'm sorry. But you guys let me know what you think these dates will be. Bringing us now to talk about some more James Gunn. So although last side flick we talked about an interview he did with Rolling Stones, James Gunn has now done an interview with Entertainment Weekly where he's divulged even more information about his DCU, and a lot of it is scattered and different. So I'm just going to talk about some of the highlighted things he revealed in this interview. He talks about the Batman Part 2 once again, saying that he's expected to get a script from Matt Reeves this month. That'd be honestly really great to hear, because we were hearing that they're wanting to start filming this movie by the end of this year, but it's looking more like it's going to start filming at the beginning of next year. If next month we hear James Gunn still has not got that script, man, I'd be panicking. I don't know how many of you guys you remember this annoying Superman discourse when this footage came out of David Cornsweet flying as Superman. James Gunn admitted that he has deleted that scene from the movie and is not part of the film. He said exactly, it wasn't a finished visual effects shot. I forgot to look at this closely, so that one kind of got by me. And I just think it's kind of funny because James Gunn has been making some changes to Superman based off fan reactions. One of the notable things is the change in color grading for Superman, because some of the early trailers and teasers had this really big blue hue to it, and now some of the recent trailers and TV spots have taken away that blue hue and gone with a more warm color. And again, those are reactions because James Gunn is constantly online seeing what fans are saying. I respect the man a lot and I have faith in whatever he's trying to do in the DCU, but with how reactionary he is based on online comments, someone take away his phone. Just take away his internet for a little bit, because I think if nobody complained about this shot of David Cornsweet Superman, it would still be in the film. James Gunn also revealed that a really famous big actor has pitched him a DC Elseworld movie, meaning a DC movie that would be outside of his main universe, where he said, I said it depends on how the screenplay comes out. If it's a masterpiece, I'll make it. He's working on it though. He is still trying to do it. But that seems to be James Gunn's thing about the DCU, is as long as the script is good, I will make the movie. Hence why we're getting a Clayface film where they just recently cast an actor who's going to be playing Clayface, even though I never really thought that'd be a movie in the DCU. James Gunn is making it because apparently the script Mike Flanagan wrote is amazing for it. And well, speaking of other DC movies, he also gave us an update on Sergeant Rock, the movie that was going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino and starring Colin Farrell. On the last side flick, I told you that James Gunn had just gone and canceled on a movie that was about to start filming. I thought it was Sergeant Rock, but here it's looking like it wasn't that. He said, I feel like we're in a pretty good place. We're still moving forward, but it's not going to be, what would Peter want me to say here? So it's still moving forward, but yeah, right now it wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be creatively, and so it needs to change a little bit. So it doesn't look like he's canceled the making of Sergeant Rock, and that only strengthens my theories that it was the Authority that he canceled because he just couldn't figure out how to make that movie work. So cheer up, 5 of you Sergeant Rock fans, that movie's still someday coming. He was asked about what upcoming DCU project he's really excited for, where he teased this. There's another TV show that's my favorite thing in all of this that is hopefully getting made soon. It's just my favorite thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to say or not, but there's a couple of other movies that are being written, one of which is in pretty good shape, another which is kind of closer to the start, but we feel positive about. And then there's a thing that I'm writing, which I think it's okay, so that will be the next thing after Clayface. It's not 100% certain, but pretty certain. I think the TV show he was talking about at the beginning of this quote is probably the Booster Gold show. I'm still hoping for that to happen. I think that'd be a really fun show, but it's also kind of interesting to hear him talk about these other movies and projects that are being done in secrecy that we know nothing about, and hopefully it's exciting stuff, man, because if it's more Clayface and Sergeant Rock, I will try and get excited, but I ain't gonna fake it if it's something that sounds eh. Speaking of which, he did talk about this one secret DCU project that he didn't even tell Warner Brothers' David Zaslav about. James Gunn says there's one project in development for DCU that he didn't even reveal to David Zaslav in their first DCU pitch meeting because he felt it was too easy to rip off by another company. And so that's one of the main things. Again, a handful of movies and projects that James Gunn is working on that is part of his universe that he's not telling anyone about. Exciting. But then there's some comments where I'm like, James Gunn, either just say it or not, man, because you are being so vague. Since he's recently confirmed that the DCU will be making a Wonder Woman movie, he was asked, is that connected to Paradise Lost, the Wonder Woman TV show that was announced when he first got hired for the DCU? And he said exactly, Paradise Lost is moving along. It's slowly moving, but it's moving. And yeah, I really love that project a lot. And then he was asked if it's connected to Wonder Woman or not, and he goes, yes, well, yes and no. Wonder Woman's a separate thing. We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now, so it's different. I mean, not different. They're connected. She's from effing Themyscira, so I have no idea what that means. Either the Themyscira Wonder Woman show is connected to the Wonder Woman movie, or it's not, James Gunn. Stop playing with us, buddy. And the last big James Gunn thing I'll leave you on is talking about the overall story in this first arc for the DCU. He says here, Peacemaker and Superman are both important in terms of getting the bigger story. At the same time, I am really trying to be careful that nobody can dip in and see the story that is up next and not feel like they're missing information. The other stories can provide added texture to what you're watching that might change down the line as we get deeper into what's happening in this universe. It could be like Infinity War and Endgame, where you kind of have to see Infinity War to know what's going on in Endgame. But right now, I'm trying to keep it so that you don't have to see Superman to see Supergirl. For example, even though there's a lot of stuff in Superman that leads to Peacemaker, you certainly don't need to see it to see Peacemaker. It's just good if you have, but we also have a previously in the DCU before every episode, so the TV stuff's pretty easy. And again, I love that philosophy and I hope it stays true. I understand for situations where movies are part 1 and part 2 events, but if they can keep that going and not have things so interconnected and heavy like the MCU has done with their TV show side of things, I think the DCU will be better for it. You guys are seeing all these updates James Gunn is giving about his DCU. How are you feeling about it? Anyways, guys, that is all movie news we currently have going on right now. Oh, and thanks so much for taking time to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.